What's up? What's up? What's up,
No.
everybody? Welcome to our first broadcast with the Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club. I am Madam President Tanea McLean, and I am excited to be here on today. We have a special guest with us, my favorite Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Denzel Caldwell,
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Nashville's finest. And later will be joining us, JC Shegog. We got a little technical difficulties, but we getting him worked out. But until then, we'll go ahead and hold it down like we do. First of all, I want to congratulate all our new members. Today was our new members orientation day, so we are officially NAGAs. That's the National African American Gun Association. We are the Nashville Murfreesboro chapter. So we're excited about that. Great organization. Please look them up online at nagga.co. If you're looking to be a member, go ahead and join, and then come on over here to Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club, and we'll get you right. We will get you right. How are you doing today, Denzel?
I am feeling good. As you already have stated, we had a great day today. Got to
Yes, we
meet the new
did.
members, got to shoot
Yes,
a little bit, got to represent again, on the news, and just had a good time. Just had a good
we
time.
did. We did. We
Mm-hmm.
had Channel 2 News join us on today.
Yep.
I got to redeem myself. Madam President got to redeem herself on the
Had to.
shooting. Had to. They had me low and to the left on Channel 5, shooting that Glock. Nothing against the Glocks. Nothing against the Glocks. I got that Glock 17 Gen 5. She a little new. Got to
Mm-hmm.
get used to that trigger. So today I had to pull OG out. I had to bring the one I know. I had to bring that Smith and Wesson out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was hitting right down the middle like I like her to. So I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling
Absolutely.
good. So let's see. It has been an exciting last couple of weeks, right? So we
Absolutely.
started off with NPR, the NPR interview,
Mm-hmm.
and that went really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked us off, and from there, we've been rolling.
Rolling
It's
nonstop.
like every time you turn the news on, boom, boom, and boom. Y'all seeing these two right here. And I know you like
Exactly.
it. I know you like it. See, y'all
Mm-hmm.
get to get us. Y'all get to get
Mm-hmm.
us. This ain't channel 2. This ain't channel 4, channel 5, channel
Uncut.
17. It ain't Fox, right? This Middle
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee Black Gun Club, baby. And
Yep.
we are
Yep.
in here. So in Tennessee, we have some exciting things happening. July 1st, permitless carry legislation goes
Yep.
into effect. We are here starting our series out to talk about how is that going to affect the Black culture. You know what I mean? The Black community
Mm-hmm.
out here. Does it affect us? So we have a lot to discuss. We're going to have a series of town halls over the
Yep.
next week covering tradition of Black firearms, how to conceal and carry safely and be fly
Mm-hmm.
while you do it. We have the
Exactly.
what else do we have? The fashion show.
Fashion
Fashion show's
show.
coming up
Yep.
in Atlanta, June
Mm-hmm.
26th. Check out our website, Middle Tennessee, all right, midtmbgc.com,
BGC. Yep. .com.
and check out our events page.
Yeah.
So while we are figuring out things with JC, and just to shout out if they can hear me, if we don't get that figured out, he can come on in here and join me, and we'll just share a screen because
Exactly. We'll make it work. Find a way to
right,
make one.
right. All this new technology, we still do things old school. All
Yeah.
right, so Denzel, what's going on, bro?
Man, I'm just excited. Like this day, I was looking forward to this day anyway because like we're like really kicking off. We already been kicking off like since before, but now I'm just really excited to meet the new folks. To let them
Yes,
know that we here.
yes,
We not just just some images on social media or the interview. We're actually out here. We're a whole club. You know,
exactly.
um, just really excited. Like we have a lot of stuff like
Lined
for our
up.
folks.
We
Yeah, got a
do.
lot of stuff lined up. It's needed too. The culture needed this,
Yes, it does. It's
like
on time. Perfect timing. Perfect
absolutely,
timing. So
absolutely.
let's before we get into the laws and all, let's introduce ourselves to the world.
Okay.
We've been banging on Facebook, no pun intended,
Hmm.
but we banging on Facebook. Y'all go follow us on Instagram, mid
Yep.
TMBGC. We got a YouTube and a Twitter page.
Yep.
Those are just getting started, but on Facebook, We banging, right?
Absolutely.
Website is hot. Shout out
Hmm.
to Taisha Bradley, our VP, and
The
our web
GOAT.
designer, yes, and our PR person. Man, she got
Yep.
us out here, so we appreciate that. What else we got going on, man? I'm happy to be black. I don't know
Man,
about y'all.
absolutely.
I'm just
Ain't
happy
no
to
other
be
way to
black.
be. Shoot, what are
So
you talking about?
I love
Love
it.
it.
So I'm here for you guys. We are here for you. We both are firearm instructors.
Hmm.
We have self-defense businesses, but we
Yep.
wanted to start this club to be able to have people to have more access, right, to
Hmm.
training, right, and so not just any training, but some good training with some
Exactly.
great trainers. Y'all,
Hmm.
please don't sleep on Tennessee. We got some of the
Tennessee
best to
will
do it.
Tennessee will be the training hub. Mark y'all calendars on this day, June 13, 2021, at what, 6:06 p.m. The Sergeant of
606, baby.
Arms, Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club, has stated that Tennessee will be the training hub for firearms. I'm telling you.
It shall, because we got the best in
Mhm.
the game to do it, and that's
Absolutely.
just how we're gonna do it. We want to share with the world. We ain't no haters.
At all. At all. At all.
So we want our people to be safe. So we're gonna have to just squeeze in. I got my favorite trainer, JC Shegog. Look,
The
our heads a little
greatest.
big. Let me see if I can get us.
Right.
There we go. There it is. There it is. Say what's up,
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
JC.
How y'all doing?
Man,
Hmm.
this the Godfather right here, y'all.
Absolutely.
Me and Denzel wouldn't even know each other if it wasn't for training
The
with this
one for
guy.
him.
So
Hmm.
tell us a little something about yourself, sir.
Who'd you like to know?
Man, how long you been doing it and what do you do?
Okay. I've been in the self-defense, hand-to-hand and firearms game for about 35 plus years now.
Hmm.
And I do it as an occupation.
Hmm.
I teach police, military, what they say, CONUS, meaning continental United States, and OCONUS, meaning outside the continental United States. I travel to our NATO uh, allies and teach their police and military. And it's been a heck of a journey. And now what I
Mm.
want to do is, because I've had the fortunate opportunity to help people build nations and secure nations, I want to help us build and secure nations right here.
That's
There
right.
it is.
I heard it here first, black people. We got it for you. So, yo, we got those that know how to teach you how to survive out here in the wilderness, in the projects, at your
Mhm.
mama house, we wherever. We are about surviving. Yeah, y'all, it's gonna be black. Y'all know me. They're gonna give you the technical side. He's gonna give you the technicalities of the
Mhm.
explanation. Denzel gonna give you the history, and me, I'm gonna bring the energy. Y'all already know what it is. So let's get started. Let's get
Mhm.
started. So in the great state of Tennessee, um,
Mhm.
we have on July the 1st, 2021, a permitless carry legislation that will be going into effect. It has already passed, and we're here now, right? So, what
Mhm.
we wanted to do as a gun club was to educate the community because when it first came out, well, to other people's awareness, because I've been following it for 2 years, but that's neither here nor there. Um,
Mhm.
People first became aware of it. We looking in the black groups, and I'm watching my timeline because it's blackety black, and I seen a lot of black folks like, oh Lord, it's gonna be
Right.
the Wild Wild West. Oh Lord, these fools just gonna have guns and be walking around with them. Oh Lord. So I
Mhm.
was sitting there like, I didn't feel like that. I don't know about y'all, but I was
I
like,
didn't either.
let's go. I feel like it evens the playing field for everybody, especially income levels, different
Mhm.
classes, those that are less fortunate and it doesn't fit into their budget. They cannot afford the fees associated. But taking the permit class and actually paying for the permit, the costs that come with that. But also the awareness is bringing. You have so
Mhm.
many people interested in this topic now, and we've been riding the wave, but we want you guys to be informed, right? Because
Right.
it's a lot. I say, black folks, y'all got that church mentality. Whatever the pastor say, instead of going to do your own research, reading the Bible for yourself, you just amen, pastor, amen, pastor. Well, don't be amen, pastor to me, because I'm gonna tell you now, I have said some things incorrect. As I'm learning. in these last 10 days. So that's why we got the expert here to clear up some things. And then myself and Denzel, we just out here, we're in this game. And so we can give you our perspective just from being involved and being new kids on the block to the game. All right. So first thing I want to do is get some understanding on some nomenclature, some definitions of some words that we throw out there. Because here's where I was messing up. I was interchanging constitutional carry and permitless carry. In my mind, I thought it was the same thing until my friend over here educated your girl earlier. So the first thing I would like is to ask JC, what is the difference between constitutional carry, permitless carry, and open carry?
Okay. But open carry is just carrying it without it being holstered, well, not holstered, without it being concealed. Right? That's open carry. It's non-concealed. Constitutional carry is carrying under the Second Amendment of the Constitution. And that don't just mean handguns. That means shotguns and rifles. The permitless carry is a law that's coming into effect, that's going into effect on July 1st, that allows you to carry a handgun open or concealed. So it is a shade, a reflection of the constitutional carry, but it is not constitutional carry. It is permitless carry under the state of Tennessee.
Okay, so does that mean, so with the permitless carry, I can carry my handgun, either open carry or concealed, but I cannot carry a rifle or a shotgun?
Openly.
Right.
Openly.
Right.
You can have it in your vehicle,
Right. Yeah.
But walk around with it on your neck.
Right.
Nope.
Open. No. Okay. But what if I got the carbine I got in my backpack concealed?
Well, that depends. That depends. I know guys that's in like private security and stuff like that. They do something similar to that effect for worst case scenarios. As a civilian, I'm not going to say you can't do it. I'm just going to say that just be careful. Be careful to do it and have a purpose for doing it. And not just be out here all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Real quick, let's bust a myth really quickly. One of the things I kept seeing on social media when this law first dropped was, now guns are gonna be more accessible. Let's bust that really quickly. JC, what is tell us about the reality of gun purchases in Tennessee and the absence of an effect this permitless law will have on gun purchase?
I think the gun purchase may rise a little bit because of the media scare and all of that. But in reality, it will not have any real the effect on gun purchasing, and because guns are already readily available, already accessible.
Right.
You got the money, or you go to the gun shows. You can go get your gun at any point.
Right.
The problem is what's going to happen is an increased number of uneducated people carrying guns. That's a problem.
Which is already a problem.
Exactly.
It's not just happening because of this law, but it is. I've talked to some instructors that teach the permit carry class, and they've said there's already been a drastic drop in the numbers. However, if you do want to travel, so let me give you some reasons you do need your permit. Just because we're going permitless carry, if you plan on traveling to other states that have reciprocity with the great state of Tennessee, you need that plastic card, right?
Absolutely.
Be able to do that. Let me explain this to you. You have that card, right? So now you're going to Georgia with your firearm. You can do that Tennessee laws do not follow you to Georgia. I need you to
Correct.
understand that. You need to understand Georgia's concealed carry requirements, or what to do, how to ride with it. Can you
Right.
ride with it on you concealed, or those different things. And I'm gonna tell y'all this: Google is your friend. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
ask Siri everything else. Ask her ass if you can travel to South Carolina with your gun on you without a permit. Quit texting me. I'm sorry, rant. But I'm gonna start charging y'all for stuff you can Google. I get it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, that's what I'm doing to get the answers. Just Googling, screenshotting, and sending it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I want us to be more proactive and looking up things for our own and knowing what resources we can use. Start with Google, right? Start with Google
Mm-hmm.
every time before you go texting your instructor. That's just a public service announcement. All right, so Denzel, let me ask you this. So, with this law coming into effect, you being as active as you are in the Black community, what are your concerns about the law? What effects, good or bad, do you think it's going to have on our community?
Well, I'll say this. I think that on the one hand, I think with the absence of the requirement for a permit to conceal carry, I think that does take away one opportunity for take away one more opportunity for Black folks to potentially be locked up. So that's one thing that you know technicality that could put somebody behind bars. Now we're in a situation where best case scenario, they've got some training, they're aware of the law, they're moving in a way that's lawful. There's one less thing that we have to worry about. I am concerned, however, with the other aspects of the permitless carry law that includes upping the charges for unlawful possession, because as we know, the law is not enforced equally, and we know that that could potentially create some problems for our folks. So I'm very concerned about that, which is why, to JC's point that he always talks about, training is paramount, right? We have to make sure that our folks are trained not only in how to use a firearm, but also situational awareness, the ability to de-escalate, knowing the impact and the ways in which these laws will impact their status as an owner, including when interacting with law enforcement. This is a real reality for us. And so because of that, I mean, also because of the fact that law enforcement didn't actually support this, right?
Right.
So this is going to create a different environment for everyone, but especially for our folks. So we have to be twice as vigilant about our training, just the shifting of the laws and how to move accordingly.
Yes, yes, yes. So, speaking of the police, let's talk about them. They're not excited, about this law. We know in Nashville, we've had what, 4 incidents of police involved shootings with
Fine.
unarmed, 5 with
Mm-hmm.
some were unarmed, some were, alleged, maybe had a firearm with them or tossed. But let's talk about engagement with the police. JC, how do we engage with the police when we're pulled over, whether we have a firearm or not? But let's say we have a firearm scenario, especially because in Tennessee, correct me if I'm wrong, we do not have the duty to notify, right, that we're a permit holder or that I have a firearm at the police.
If you are a permit holder, you're supposed to tell
Okay.
Okay.
your permit
Okay.
that, I'm a permit holder, but usually they're gonna approach the vehicle and either tell you what you did for the stop or start questioning. One of those
Mm-hmm.
questions is always, is there any weapons in the vehicle? So now the situation is some officers will automatically become hostile because of there's a great chance that you have a gun in the car.
Mm.
So as usual, you want to keep your hands 10 and 2 and speak with them and stay in control.
Right.
You stay in control. I know nobody wants to be stopped by the police,
At
but we
all.
know that they're out there, and we
Mm-hmm.
know that there's some there's ones who don't do their job well, right? We see it all the time. So we have to know that they're out there, and there's just some that don't mean you any good. So you have to prepare yourself for that. You don't prepare yourself for that, and then you stick your head in the lion's mouth. Who fault is that? Okay, I know how it should be and supposed to be, but let's prepare ourselves for what is. And
Mm.
what is going on is that we have issues around the nation with shooting unarmed black men. Now, what about an issue with police shooting legally armed black men and women?
Mm.
Okay, you don't get any extra rights with this July 1st law.
Mm.
Okay, there hasn't been no real police reform and sweeping change. None of that has occurred. All right, so ipso facto, they could still keep acting the way they've been acting.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be able to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing you want to do in the interaction with law enforcement is stay in control. You stay in control. Don't let them say anything that's going to make them put you
Out
in
of
in
care.
a in a in a in a bag. Like, are you all right? Or something mentally wrong with you? Why are you so hostile? Are you a danger to yourself and others? It could easily get turned on you. So you
Mm-hmm.
got to stay in control.
And speaking of controlling yourself, that's not something that comes natural for a lot of people. You know what I mean? The type of society we live in, from small kids on up to grown adults, we throw tantrums. We don't know how to communicate well. We get offensive quickly, get on the defensive even faster. And especially I'll say personally, I know how my whole stomach turns when I see them blue lights.
Mm.
And I know I can go from I'm sitting there rapping my favorite song to Bill they won't, and my whole demeanor changes. I'm short with them, and those are things mentally, as I've grown as a person and become an instructor, dealing more with the firearm side, and learning and being educated, I knew I had to check myself, right? With real self-defense, we work with the women, and a lot of times mainly I train the black women. So the sisters, a lot of them don't even want to touch the gun because they feel like they don't even have the right attitude for it yet. Great observation. We don't want you in that world if you're not ready. But how do we get prepared? Let's talk about de-escalation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? 'Cause that's like something we don't think to go to. We go straight to defensive when we should be going to de-escalation. JC, can you tell us about some trainings or some tips
Mhm.
how to de-escalate a situation, especially with dealing with the police? So what if he's being an asshole when he come to the door? How do I work through this and he's already coming to me messed up?
Well, your first right is the right to remain silent. That's your first right. So if you feel that this officer is approaching you disrespectfully, he's trying to get a rise out you, officer, I don't answer any questions without my lawyer present. I don't answer any questions without my lawyer. No, you cannot search my vehicle or my person.
Say that again.
No, you cannot search my vehicle or my person.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Y'all, please tell your children this that are driving. I
Absolutely.
know it can be a scary situation. I know, especially when they feel like they haven't done anything wrong, that the more I cooperate with the police, the easier it's going to be on me. Please teach your children, no, you cannot search my person or my vehicle. Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
As a matter of fact, especially when it comes to minors driving, uh, as soon as those lights come on, they need to be calling a parent or an adult
Mm-hmm.
immediately,
Mm-hmm.
immediately, so that they can hear what's going on. Or you got FaceTime, the whole nine. That call need to be made right off the top. because you want, if not eyewitness, you want ear witness. You want somebody that's going to be able to assist you in that situation. Um, don't be getting sassy and smart, because it's going to be a two-way thing. Y'all going to go back and forth. It's going to become combative, and
Right.
since they do it for a living, you ain't going to win.
At all.
You ain't going to win. They do this for a living. So remain in control, and don't say I know my rights.
I know my rights.
Right. Show them that you know your rights by being able to control what you say, limit what you say. Give them the, the, the identification, the proof of insurance, the registration. They need that. Let them do their job so you can move on. They want to do anything extra, anything more? No, you cannot.
Survive the situation.
It's
Survive
a
the
viable
situation.
situation
Survive
and
the
get paid in
situation.
court.
That's the only way you can be able to come back and get some kind of justice, if you
Mm,
survive. Don't
Yes.
be out there dying on the side of the road just because you had a bad day.
yep.
Or
Because the
because
cold
the police
reality,
had a go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the cold reality is if you're dead, we cannot get justice for you.
It
That is the
is.
reality. You're gone. So we want to make sure that we are able to achieve justice, and part of that is staying alive.
All right, youngster. Let me holler at you about your generation, the millennials, what y'all out here doing. So I'm seeing a lot of 30 and under
Mm-hmm.
in this game since we started dealing with the gun club. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that. We had a couple youngsters in our new members orientation
Shout
class
out to them.
today. Shout out to them. Chi-Town's finest down here in Tennessee.
Southside.
Yeah, we had a lot of Southside in the new
Y'all
members
down
orientation
here, I
class,
see.
so y'all already know what type of club this is. Shout out to the 761st Gun Club of Illinois, my
Yep,
people
yep,
out
yep.
there in Chicago, the NAGA chapter. So my next question, so education, millennials. We hear a lot of, even when I was younger, I know I look young, I'm 43, y'all. Back in my day, we definitely had the music that had
Mhm.
all the shit talking about guns, from carrying them, toting them, shooting people, just from just one end of the spectrum to the other. How do you feel as a millennial? You think your music for your age group still is putting that same a negative narrative with firearms and black folks?
I mean, well, stuff don't fall far from the tree, right? So, for context, when we talking about millennials, you got to keep in mind we're talking about what mid um mid 80s down to the late 90s. That's where all we were born, right? So, we went through. Some of us were old enough to at least remember early to late 90s music, so, and then early 2000s, right? So I think that, I mean, nothing's really changed as far as, like, talking about guns. I mean, if anything, some of the rappers got wealthier. They got access to bigger guns. So they talking about, bigger guns. But I mean, as far as like the firearm IQ, or at least the common knowledge, hasn't really shifted. People still call the magazines clips. You know what I'm saying? They'll bring up the Draco, but people look at any rifle and still think it's a Draco, not recognizing that's a specific type of firearm and stuff. And so people don't recognize that fully automatic guns are legal, and
Right.
not knowing the difference between fully automatic and semi-automatic. So I think, overall, like the firearm IQ hasn't really shifted. Not that it was any higher beforehand. But I think that's the reason, all the more reason why we need to be in, organizations like Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club, because we'll be able to bust those myths. And I think it's especially important for my generation, millennials, and eventually when they get old enough, Gen Z, because we're in the age of social media. So never have we been in an era where the amount of information that we receive has been in this volume. And so
Right.
the issue is no longer how much information we get, but the ability to critically analyze and pick and choose what information that we consume. Right. And so like the speed of misinformation is much faster now. This is at the speed of a byte on the internet. So you see memes going around, different videos going around. Somebody could say something that is complete BS, but because it goes viral, right, people
Right.
will eat it up, right? So
Right.
I think it's really incumbent for my generation to really latch on to training and really understand, especially when it comes to firearms, just really understanding the importance of training, being situationally aware, so that we can bust some of these myths and change the culture.
Yeah, definitely. JC, on your end of the spectrum, that old school R&B, the Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire, were they talking about busting gas with any gunplay in those songs, or y'all was too busy being in love?
Right. You was either trying to be a player or a pimp, and there's a difference.
Mhm.
There's a big difference. There's a big difference. Because pimping is still alive in Chicago and Memphis. I'm telling you.
Lord,
They them stacks with the goldfish in the hills still. They
oh,
probably got an old dusty revolver.
Right.
not the wheel gun.
Straight edge razors.
Right, they
Yeah,
ready.
yeah,
Talking all smooth and stuff, like, we're
Lord.
not gonna go into that. But I did want to speak on influence. Entertainment, TV, music,
Mm-hmm.
um, the internet, YouTube University has us all over the place. Like you said, it's a fast spread of misinformation. One of the things we do want to do with the gun club is provide the education and training, like Denzel said, to debunk some of these myths. But let's say the importance of education. I mean, we stress it, but a for our culture, like our vision and our mission is for the Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club is to take this knowledge and give it back to the community in
Mm-hmm.
exchange for not necessarily cash. We're trying to work it out. We have a membership system. So
Mm-hmm.
you're paying a low amount monthly, which is, let me say, cheaper than any of one of our classes. The membership
Right.
is, you're gonna get more
That's
than
right.
you would get from just taking one of our classes for like twice or three times the amount of what our
Exactly.
membership is. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited because I feel like the culture now, we don't have an excuse. We're not the only Black Gun Club in Middle Tennessee, and you best believe
Mm-hmm.
connected with them. So we all coming for y'all, and y'all gonna get this work.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
gonna get this work. I don't even think they know that they need it. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
you know what? Now I'm going to add something to that, Taneo. Put that in the larger context. We are in so many ways reminding our community of the skills that we have lost
yes,
over time. And
yes,
I don't want to get too much into our next episode, but there's a whole Black arms tradition in this
yes.
country that we've been disconnected from. But again, I ain't gonna give y'all too much. Just a little snippet
Well,
from
give them a
for the
little
next
some,
episode. Just a
Denzel. Give
little
them a
bit.
little some.
Listen. Like people will wear the Black Panther shirts or memorabilia and stuff like that, and you best believe they not out here, just treating firearms every which way. A lot of them came from were vets, right? And so they had some comfortable relationship with firearms to a degree to where they knew at least safety precautions on how to use them, as well as how to use them when under duress. So and that tradition far precedes them. It goes back into chattel slavery. We're going to be getting into that in the future, but it's important for our folks to recognize that this is a tradition that we are trying to reconnect our people to.
That's right.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Yep,
nothing new.
yep. Can you give them a little briefing on the start of the tradition? Who are we protecting ourselves from?
Yeah. So I mean, like,
Let me
again,
say this: it wasn't black on black crime. I'm gonna say that.
absolutely. That term we could have a
Right,
whole
that's a
episode
whole
on that.
show. Right, that's a whole show in itself. And we gonna
um,
have it.
but yeah, anybody who actually understands the history of this country knows that black folks have been fighting to assert our humanity ever since we got stolen and brought over here, right? So this black arms tradition goes well into enslavement. Where we're talking about the Stonewall Rebellion in the early 1700s, where you had Africans that fled to Florida and in alliance with indigenous folks to
Better
uh,
teach them.
maroon. Because we got a text back here behind today talking about maroon societies, right? Whether we're talking about enslaved or formerly enslaved black folks who were leading uprisings on their plantation, right? In order to escape that servitude, in order to go into certain parts of the wilderness in the United States to create what we call maroons and assert their humanity in those spaces. Or we could be talking about the early veterans. Not only in like going a little bit farther back in the Revolutionary War, where they were trying to survive in the midst of this battle for a new country, but we could skip all the way up to the Civil War. We had a lot of veterans, black folks who were veterans in the Civil War in order to fight for their emancipation. Just some homework that I want y'all to do. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it. Look up Fort Pillow and talk about why that's an important battle, right? So when we think about these traditions, we're talking about ancestors who wasn't taking no shit. You know, they
None.
were here. They were here to survive. Right? Goes past, the emancipation. We're talking about Reconstruction. We're talking about an era that a lot of people do not take seriously. That was an era defined by a lot of small scale wars against black folks because we were exercising our rights as citizens at this time. And that was seen as a threat, right? And so in the South was a battleground for a lot of that, right? And that's really just a little bit, and that tradition goes all the way up to today, right? And we're a part of that long, beautifully complex tradition that again we'll get into in our next episode and stuff like that. But that's just a little bit. This is nothing new. What we're doing is reminding our community of what
Right.
what is a tradition that's ours.
Exactly. Culturally, it's ours.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Jim Crow era, the black codes, the buck breaking, those were things that got us off that tradition. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? When they started definitely getting rid of the strong black men in the community and the family, and then leaving the black woman there to make a decision. Do I want my child to go through this craziness I just seen them do to this grown ass man? Or
Mm-hmm.
do I teach him how to be a little bit more docile and, leave the guns alone? We don't
And
even
let's
want.
not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. Our sisters are warriors.
Oh, that come on now.
There's a there when we talking about again, we can go to the continent to here on the plantations when we fought back. Don't get it twisted. The brothers weren't the only ones that were, picking up those firearms or those machetes and running their way to freedom. Let's not forget our ancestor Harriet Tubman. And she's just one of many, right? She was a part of that tradition too. The majority of the Panthers were sisters, right? So, like, like when we talk about this, let's not even make it seem like this is only a thing for the brothers. No, the sisters are in here. Our siblings, everybody, they are in here, and they're part of
Oh
that
yeah.
tradition too. So,
Oh
that's
yeah.
another
We in here.
aspect that's been rewritten and kind of erased. It's like, sisters, y'all have definitely been as much of a critical piece of this tradition as the brothers. So,
But those ancestors are rising because the way the
mm-hmm.
numbers are skewed right now, the sisters are the number one consumers of
Exactly.
new firearms at the moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we are taking advantages of the training. There's a lot of new women instructors in the firearms game. Shout out to all my women instructors because we are needed.
Mm-hmm.
And you are absolutely right. We are definitely warriors out here in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was speaking on is when we started to lose that tradition of
Yep.
the firearms and how we got there. Because
Yep.
I hear even my friends, some of the people my age, and I've heard it for the last 20 years when we started having children. I don't even allow my children to play with fake guns. I don't even allow, my children to mess with toy guns. I won't even have a toy gun in my house.
Mm,
And I just asked a simple question like, why? Why not? A toy gun ain't never killed nobody. Um,
mm,
but they, for some reason, same thing, we think if you pull your pants up, the police won't bother you.
mm-hmm.
If you just walk with your head up high, police won't shoot you, type
That
things, or people
respectability
won't bother
politic.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like it leaked over into our Second Amendment right, where we're saying, no, just leave the guns alone, or no, I don't want my kids messing with guns. And I'm gonna be honest with you, to me, the harder you are on your kids about that, the more curiosity.
Right.
Yes.
And they're just gonna go out there and figure it out some
And
way,
let's put it
somehow.
and let's put that in context. Let's go ahead and keep it 100 with them, Madam President. Like, when we talking about we put that in historical context, let's go back to the 60s, right? When we're talking about the civil rights movement, right? And even though the resistance, black liberation movement at the time was vast, and not only ideology, but also tactic and approach, right? Whether we're talking about various nonviolent tactics, which even when it comes to nonviolence, right? That's watered down because a lot of people don't really understand even how disciplined they were when it came to that. But I'll say, in addition to that, what got erased, just flat out erased, was the self-defense tradition, right? So when we talk about that era, yeah, there's all this conversation about like, hey, they're too far gone, or they're doing too much, and it's just like, no, like those folks who you called radicals were just asserting their humanity and using their constitutional right within this country in order to assert their humanity and protect themselves, right? But what happens is when you erase that tradition, you erase a very essential piece of our tools that's used to fight for our humanity, because that's the core of all of this, asserting our humanity in a space, in a country, in a world, that says that we're less than.
See, the choir was supposed to chime in right there and start saying, and JC gonna pass the plate around because Minister Denzel just brought the funk, right? We
Hmm.
need our money.
Absolutely.
So in the tradition of Black firearms, what a lot of people also get misconstrued is the nonviolent movement. That part of the
Hmm.
civil rights did not equal not defend yourself. So they
Exactly.
did believe in self-defense. And when they ended up having to do a little something, that's why y'all need get this Negroes with Guns about our
Absolutely.
brother Robert F. Williams. You can go on YouTube, look up documentaries, talk about, that's a bad brother right there. That's a
Absolutely.
bad brother. That's a great story right there. But we have to be ready. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, we can't be afraid. We need to celebrate our tradition, and we're gonna bring the gun club. We're gonna have a social aspect to it, so it's not gonna always be about shooting guns, but like Denzel said, with self-defense. Don't get it twisted. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was packing. you
Yep,
know
my
what I
elder brother, Morehouse brother, was packing. Yep, shout
you know
out
what
to
I mean?
Morehouse.
Like, the ones that you think weren't out here, the WEB boys, because they were so intellectual and educated, does not mean they not packing.
Oh, Tanea, check this out. I had heard when I was an undergrad that allegedly there is a photo at the time. Matter of fact, if you go to the Atlanta University Center, if you look at our history close enough, there was a point in that history, especially in the early 1900s, where you had students at the time, because we talking about the middle of Georgia in the early 1900s, right?
Right.
So imagine what that must have been like for a black school, an intentionally black school in the midst of that Jim Crow era. They had to tote. And so like what had happened there, I had heard stories of the presidents having to, whenever the students weren't in class, having to patrol the campus with rifles, right? Because they had to protect themselves. A lot of people don't know the bell that's at my alma mater wasn't just for lunch and dinner and all that. That was for when the Klan was coming, right? Like there's a story, or allegedly there's a photo somewhere of Dr. W.B. Du Bois, sitting on top of one of the buildings with a Winchester rifle in his hand. See, these are the conversations that don't get brought up. Our folks didn't just sit there and just and no disrespect to nobody that prays, but just prayed and nothing happened. They had aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters that were strapped and ready to get down when they needed to. So we gotta demystify history too. Our folks knew how to clap back because we did shoot back. Not to shout out to Dr. Umoja, who wrote the book "We Will Shoot Back," but yeah, we did. That's how we're here.
Exactly. That's how we survived
Exactly.
all of that Jim Crow era. We are
Mm-hmm.
the fruits of a resilient people, might I add.
That's right.
That's why I
Mm-hmm.
fool with y'all. That's why I'm cool with y'all. I love Black people. If y'all didn't know, I love Black people. I'm down for the culture. I'll fight for our culture. I will defend our culture. But I'm gonna educate us. You know what I mean? I want to teach you how to be able to defend yourself first, then your family, then it sprinkles over to our community, right? We have youth programs we're working on. We have youth programs that already exist.
Yep.
We're teaming up with churches. If you're a part of a church out there, man, we gotta start using those venues for things like this. And now I ain't paying y'all. You're gonna get this education and this work, and you're gonna exchange it for use of your venue. That's how this gonna work. I got 5
Mm-hmm.
guns to back me up to say that's how it's gonna work. I'm just playing. No, I'm not, but I am. It's whatever y'all want it to be.
You a fool.
Y'all gonna get this education because it's here. This is
Mm-hmm.
just 3, y'all. There are so many Black instructors that know what they're doing right here in Middle Tennessee. I'm talking about just in Middle Tennessee. So there's some good white instructors out here, don't get it twisted, that are down for the cause too, that want to help educate us. Shout out to On Target Shooting Range in
Yep.
Murfreesboro,
Yep.
Tennessee, where we
Absolutely.
had our new members orientation today. All our news broadcasts have been shot
Great
here.
folks.
They have a very diverse staff.
Mm-hmm.
Feel comfortable when you come up in here, because that wasn't my experience at the first range I went to in Tennessee. It was just too much going on, too much politics that I really didn't care for. Too many Confederate flag tattoos that I really didn't care for. And it just wasn't comfortable. And as a new instructor, I didn't want to bring, now look, I'm doing women and I'm primarily doing Black women. It would have been a whole war up in there. I'd have brought them sisters in there with all of that, and they wouldn't even have known how to shoot, and it would have went down. Because you know how we
Lord.
are. So I was like, I
Lord.
cannot set my students up for failure. I don't want those problems. So we began to improvise, right? And we kept moving forward, and we started networking with each other and interacting with each other and building relationships. And now we got 20 acres in Columbia we can use to shoot whatever. We got the little VIP range in my backyard to do what we want to do. We grill and we shoot. We have the indoor range right here, On Target Shooting Range here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I heard another location was going to be opening up in Nashville, but y'all stay tuned. I'll keep you posted. So we out here. There's no excuse, right? There's no excuse. We're teaming up with other Black businesses. We're
Mm-hmm.
teaming up with just other people, whether they gun gurus, whether they marketing gurus. Our team is, I want to cut so bad, but I'm trying to do better. Untouchable, but y'all know what I wanted to say, with the F word with. I'm trying to do
Lord.
better. But man, I'm excited because I found all these resources, right? Like I wouldn't know Denzel without a JC, but I wouldn't know a JC without a Hamid. Shout out to the Brothers Roundtable
Yep,
and
Brothers
the Black
Roundtable.
Family Talks, which is back on, and we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be on there soon. It's so many people that I would not even know if it
Absolutely.
wasn't for the self-defense aspect of life and people being interested in our community having access to it. Our waiting list is thick, man. Shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? You guys have supported us. We came out the gate swinging, kicking, toting guns, drawing from holsters. Like what?
Kung
We
Fu
on y'all
fighting.
ass. Yeah, we on y'all ass. I'm gonna just keep it 1,000 because we want to see you train. You know.
Yeah.
So I want to ask JC, since he's been in this game the longest. What what's something you've seen culturally as far as Black folks go, and when it comes to this firearms, that has been disturbing to you over time?
The main thing that disturbed me, us, is that we'll go and buy a gun and we'll get on the range. We'll go to the range once or twice a year and claim we could shoot.
Mm.
You'll say that your grandfather taught you, that your brother taught you, that your husband taught you, that your nephew taught you, and all they did was show you some things. They didn't really teach you anything. They showed you some stuff. You probably got it right a couple of times then, and then you abandon it. When I'm training us, we have a very unrealistic expectation of what this gun culture is, the skill set itself. Just because we see it on TV all the time and in the movies doesn't mean that when you come to the range that you're going to shoot like that.
Right.
Those people get trained by some of the best in the business for those parts.
Right.
And most of them keep up with it thereafter because they realize how important it is. It's not just important to learn how to shoot. Shooting teaches you so much about life. Martial arts teach you so much about life. So we have to stop having this unrealistic expectation and humble ourselves and get in here and learn the right way to do it, because you can accomplish a mission doing things the wrong way.
Yep.
So we want to do it the right way so we can mitigate negligence, ignorance, and unreasonable thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it. Speaking of training, so because we have one of the coldest trainers in the game and we have access to him, and also shout out to Akil Kadir with Citizen Safety Academy and Tiff Don't Play.
Yep.
Definitely two dope instructors that we have access to, and between the three of them, just the three, I just named them three. They want to see us win, y'all. They are here. Like they have showed Denzel and myself just so much love. And because we came, we were hungry, wanted to know. But it's like the more you start to learn, the more you want to know. You know, so that's why the gun club to me is so important, because it offers a place for continuous education. We'll have the active shooter training soon. You know, we want to do that with some churches and with some businesses, right? Because that's our reality. The world just opened back up, and as soon as it did, there's been mass shootings going on. It seems like the news is just not, you know, I don't know if it's happening too often, not enough people getting killed, you know, makes it not newsworthy, but there are some active shooter situations that have been going on for like the last at least 30 days.
Over the past 4 months,
Oh, see?
over
Alone.
200,
Man.
over 200. And what they mean by mass shooters is 3 or more people was hurt or killed in a shooting.
Yep.
Over 200 in our first 4 months of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Think about that. Let that digest.
Exactly. Let that sink in. So it can be a
Tanea,
reality. Go
let
ahead.
them know. Let them know too. Like, look. What we're talking about when we say training, we ain't just talking about just shooting at some paper.
Right.
Let's be very clear. Like, what we're trying to encourage folks to pursue is a lifestyle shift, because this isn't something that you say, okay, on June 13th, I start and then I'm going to end, 1 year later, 2 years later. This is like something you're adding to your lifestyle because you're never going to get to a point where it's like, okay, do it for X amount of time. I know everything there is to know. No, it's an endless pursuit. Despite how some people characterize it, when it comes to the art of shooting or gunfighting, it's a martial art, right? If you know that if you walk into a martial art class, whatever style we talking about, and you know that you have enough common sense to know that when you go out of that class that day that you are not a master, why would you do that with a firearm? If you know that the firearm is an extension of your body, because you need your body to shoot it, right? And you know that it requires your coordination and different things of that sort, why would you think that you could just come out of one, not even a training class, a permit class, and think that you
Right.
can do everything that you see on the movies? Come on now. JC said it earlier. These folks that are on these roles, they train with the best of the best. So they're training so many different aspects of the gun that don't even necessarily involve shooting, to be honest. There's so many dimensions of it that go beyond the shooting aspect itself that go into the fighting aspect. So why would you think that one class that isn't even a training class would do that? This is why what the Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club is going to offer, in addition to marksmanship and stuff like that, we're going to have an avenue for martial arts and de-escalation and so many other portions where we're going to get the full gambit. It's not just going to be, hey, let's go poke some holes in the paper and be done with that. No, we were going to make sure that people have a thorough understanding and a resource to develop a thorough understanding of what we're dealing with here. Because this is not something that you just, okay, I'm going to do this, shoot, poke some holes in the paper and be done with it and think you're going to be able to handle yourself. No, you have to prepare for the situations that you're most likely to get in. And that's going to come with dedication. It's going to come with time. It's going to come with money. Let's keep it 100, right?
Yep,
And it's going to come with a focused mind.
that's right. All right. Well, we down to the last 2.5 minutes. So before we go, for your reading assignment, get Negroes with Guns.
Absolutely.
Start with this version. Robert F. Williams, his story. With the gun club, we're definitely going to be riding with this. This will be our required reading. All of our members will
Absolutely.
have a copy. So start there. The Color of Law, another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Rothstein. Just a good book. Check it out. And then next stream we have, we're going to talk about Cali House, right? And we're going to talk about, because that's what's engraved on our guns, on our logo. We're going to go into that. There's an autobiography on Miss Cali House called My Face is Black, It's True. She is a Rutherford County born, Middle Tennessee native. She started the reparation movement in Nashville, Tennessee. Don't get it twisted.
Yep.
From Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
Ground zero.
From
Ground
nationwide.
Yep.
Nationwide.
It started here.
In Nashville.
Started in Nashville. Trust Denzel gonna keep y'all on these little known black facts about Middle Tennessee, because Nashville doesn't get enough credit for the parts it plays in the civil rights movement. I feel like
Black liberation struggle. Don't even stop and say Black liberation struggle movement. Nashville was the first city to desegregate its public facilities in the South. Not no disrespect to other cities that we know of in the South, but when it comes to that, we're gonna put some respect on Nashville. Dr. King came to the HBCU consortiums down here, and he said that the student movement, like the sit-ins at the time here, were the most organized he had ever seen at the time. Let's not get it twisted. Nashville has a very deep history when it comes to Black freedom movement, including the civil rights movement and a whole lot of other stuff. Like Nashville, we music city.
We're gonna let you know.
Come on now.
Bring that history. We're gonna bring it, but not all today.
Exactly.
We gotta wrap up. I want to thank everybody that tuned in with us today. I want to say a super duper congratulations to all the new members that went through our orientation today and are now NAGA, official NAGA members,
Mhm.
and also official members of Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club. Now I want to thank all of my officers for the work they put in to make this all happen. And lastly, would love to thank, he's not really a guest, but we respect him like that, where we still want you to know, that there's a elder in the room, intellect, somebody that we really respect in our community. So thank you, JC Shegog, for being with us all day. He is the overseer of the club, so we go to him, but he's definitely going to help us get our training program down, because we had them shooting standards today, did we not, Denzel?
We
Like, we got
definitely did.
qualifications and things that
Get
we're
used
not
to
just
it.
sitting around and shooting, we're actually training. So we
Hmm.
had a great time. We ate together. We took a test together. We had to
Hmm.
handle business, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we're just excited to bring this to Middle Tennessee. If you're interested, go to the website, midtnbgc.com, get on the
Hmm.
waiting list. Yes, it's thick, but we're working that out because we got a great team, and we have, like I told you earlier, we have multiple ranges that we have access to, indoor and outdoor. So we're going to make it work, y'all. So just bear
Absolutely.
with us, keep supporting us. And man, tune in next week. Well, shoot, tune in Tuesday. Tell them about your show.
Oh yeah, wake up with JC every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central. I'm on
Absolutely.
Facebook, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and you can catch my replays on Spotify, on Spreaker, on Pandora, and the Apple Podcast.
All right. Y'all go check out those previous shows. A lot to learn from there. I believe myself and Denzel are scheduled to be on there this Tuesday.
That's
I
right.
So
believe
y'all tune
so.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Wednesday, we're going to be with Queen City Gun Club in
Absolutely.
Clarksville on their Weapons Wednesday show, talking more about Middle Tennessee Black Gun Club. So we out here, y'all. We are out here. We are here to service you. Hope the information helped. We're going to keep talking about this permitless carry, the legislation, what it means to us. Our next episode, we will get more deep into the traditions of Black firearms, bring that history to you. So I hope you all tune in. There's a lot we have to offer for the whole family. So even if you are not a member at the time, we will still have events for the whole community to participate in. We do our gun cleaning classes. When we have our free classes, we're going to let the entire community know. So you guys will all have access to us. All right. Well, that's it. We went over a couple of
Hmm.
so let me stop now. I do want to shout out. I don't know if y'all can see, but y'all see this veganish shirt. Yes, that's me, veganish. But I want to shout out my friend Miss April Hobson. She's out in LA by way of Jackson, Tennessee. She's got Single Black Vegan. That's her line. Go look her up on Instagram and get you a dope shirt. We want to stay supporting Black businesses. And so that's what we're going to do. So if you have some dope gear, shirts that's going to look good on your girl, send them my way. I might even pay a little something for it because I like supporting Black businesses. So Denzel, any final words?
Oh yeah, you already know. Madam President said it herself. We support Black folks here. You know what I'm saying. I will be rocking some stuff too. Earlier today, during the interview, I was rocking a shirt. Shout out to its relative apparel for the Juneteenth swag.
Hey.
Shout out to Dynastic Arts right here. This is my martial arts slash firearms company, as well school. So yeah, we're gonna be very cooperative in this space as we do hold our training. We're going to practice community. Now we're just going to talk about it. So
Exactly.
absolutely.
And we do have opportunities for businesses to become community partners and also sponsors. So y'all stay tuned because, like we said earlier, it's going to take some money to
Hmm.
make this do what we want it to do. But you can trust us with your money. We're going to take it and we're going to make it do what it do. So we be on the lookout for us. We're out here.
Hmm.
Shout out to XGT Training. I'll be there in the morning. Yeah, LT got your girl doing some wild stuff. So when it's time to be rolling in the grass with the shotgun and the rifle, I'm gonna be ready. So we'll have a show about that too. We got our
Hmm.
guy in South Carolina, so we're gonna talk about how nutrition plays a role in being able to
Hmm.
defend yourself. Because they attack us with our food. But that's a show for
Absolutely.
another day. So, anyways, y'all be blessed, have fun. If you out there sipping on a little something, drink one for your girl. Y'all know how we do, and it's always all power to all people, all the people. So we
All
just gonna
power to
keep
the
that.
people.
We're gonna keep that tradition alive. Stay
Hmm.
tuned, share, like, and comment. We love you. Peace out.
Absolutely.